Stand by to launch fan streams.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Fan Stream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Show as we got lots of football to talk about today. We, by law, have to spend some time on the Rays, especially if Nick Geddes is on the show. And by the way, we have to have a big thank you to Nick Geddes. You might want to put some light on that pale face there, partner, from On3 Sports, who went to the Zach Bryan concert last night. And he did it well. He partied it up hard and is answering the bell this morning. He's playing hurt this morning, and we do appreciate it, Nick. Well done. Well done. It's an important quality to have. You got, like Ronnie Barber says, some days you just don't want to go.
I'm already seeing. I messed up my office door, so that's already, that's just thrown off my routine right.
Your Wi-Fi is freaking out too.
I didn't hear no bell. We're here.
Is your Wi-Fi freaking out?
Is it freaking out?
I think it is a little bit. Uh-oh. All right. Well, we'll hopefully get through it. Your Wi-Fi probably feels like your stomach right now. All right. It's calming down a little bit. I hope. Well, we got a big show for you today. We got lots to talk about from yesterday's Bucs Jags joint practice. We'll hear from Todd Bowles and Antoine Winfield on yesterday's practice. Major move made by the Atlanta Falcons. That, quite frankly, we talked about yesterday that I was hoping the Bucs would make this move, and they did not. And somebody else made the move, and I'm wondering if there will be a commensurate move from the Bucs for Hassan Reddick. We shall see. Major happenings here in the NFC South. We'll get to a bunch of college football as well, and we will talk about the Rays and all that good stuff. Good morning to you, Nick Geddes. Are you going to make it through?
Yeah, I think I'm okay. I don't know if anybody had heard me, but my Wi-Fi, right when we started the show, gave me like the little buffering thing, which is funny because we were on StreamYard for like 20 minutes before this.
Yeah, no issues.
But I think I'm good now. But yes, I'm playing hurt just a little bit today, just playing hurt. But you know what? There's a difference between hurt and injured. And
That's
if
right.
You're hurt, there's always a chance that you could suit up and go.
Yeah.
So I'm here.
Well, we're glad to have you. And Dr. Lugo will be joining us as well a little bit later on in the show. So if you have any questions about your health, your testosterone, your hormones, your nutrition, your workouts, any of that stuff, he is an absolute expert. So jump aboard and put your comments, questions in the comment section here. You can do that on YouTube, on Facebook, at the JP Peterson Show on Twitter, and we will get to all of that. So let's have some fun and talk some football here. So first of all, let's start off with the move heard around the NFC South as the Atlanta Falcons go get Matthew Judon from the Atlanta Falcons for a third-round pick, which I think is a steal. Now they got to go pay him. They got to give him a contract, which I'm guessing is probably going to be in the $14 to $18 million range per year. I mean, when you look at what Danielle Hunter got, obviously he's older than Danielle Hunter. I'm just guessing probably in that range. Couple of years. I think, the Falcons certainly have the cap room to do it. So I think it was a good move by them, especially since their third round edge rusher went down with an ACL. So it was something that tells you that the Falcons are kind of all in. And, we talked about this yesterday in the last couple of days, whether the Bucs should go out and make this move. They have $20 million in cap room. Now they're trying to roll that cap room over to pay some of the contracts that they did this offseason. They're going to need that money to, when the Evans and the Winfield and the Wirfs and all these contracts kick in, they're going to need that money. So although they have 20, some of it's kind of already spent. But they have room. They can make it work if they want to make it work. But do they need to make it work? And you're putting, all these chips in the Yaya Diaby camp that he's going to be a dominant pass rusher coming off the edge. We saw that in preseason. We saw a glimpse of it last year, no question, 7.5 sacks and didn't start till midseason. I kind of hit the rookie wall a little bit, but I expect Yaya Diaby to be dominant. And I think the Bucs do as well. And that's why they have not jumped on either one of these opportunities to go out and get a proven pass rusher. But the word here is proven. And also Diaby has a high ankle sprain, which is something that can linger throughout the season. And when you look at the body type of Yaya Diaby, he is top heavy. He's extremely top heavy. He's a big man. He's 75 pounds. And, those, it's like, those are the race horses. They skinny ankles and huge torsos. And he's going to come off the edge. You put a lot of pressure on the ankles when you're doing that. I mean, he's a football player. Obviously, they all have to do that. But I think especially for edge rushers. So is that really going to hang out? I'm not, wishing this. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be objective here. Are the Bucs a better team with Hassan Reddick coming off the edge? Yes, they are. There's no question they are. I don't think as a football person you could say they're not. Does he fit into the locker room? Does he fit into the salary structure? Is it okay to go out and overpay for an edge rusher at this point? And, a third-round pick to the Bucs is a Jalen McMillan, is a Chris Godwin. But it's also, there's a lot of misses in the third round as well. So it can be a great pick, but most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's not even a starter. So where you at on this? I think this is a tough one for Jason Licht, especially now that the Falcons have gone out and made that move. Do you answer that move?
Well, I mean, I would say, I do think the Bucs are probably a premier pass rusher away from being a true Super Bowl contender. I think we see playoffs, we see division, all those things, but as it relates to being a Super Bowl contender, I think they're a premier pass rusher away. And Hassan Reddick, I mean, he's a big name. What is it? 4 straight years, 11 sacks or more, all that stuff. And he did that with 2 different teams, obviously. I'm not crazy about the fact that he gets to New York and immediately it's, problems already after he wanted out of Philly. I don't like that. And I also really don't think he's going to get moved, though, because what leverage does Hassan Reddick have here? What leverage does he really have in this situation? I mean, the way I see it, it's like he's going to eventually just going to have to, if he wants to play football this year, he's going to have to eventually just show up and play if the Jets don't. And I think he might be overvaluing himself a little bit, and that's not taking anything away from the player that Hassan Reddick is, but he's 29 years old. Okay. He's going to turn 30 here in about 30 days or something like that. Is it obviously teams don't want to pay for the back half of your career for the production you're going to give them, because we know it's not going to be what it is now in your prime and what it was before. It's a little bit different with Judon and he's 32, by the way. We forget that. Matthew Judon is 32 years old.
Right.
It's a little different with him because I don't think he's demanding nearly the amount of money that Hassan Reddick is demanding. And you probably could get it somewhere on a lower term for Matthew Judon. So that's why versus if you were going after one of the two, I think the lower risk is to get Judon than to get Reddick, because Reddick, what does he want? 25 million? Yeah, that's steep. Yeah. That's steep for a soon-to-be 30-year-old pass rusher, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's too much, and I think that's probably why the Bucs are not.
It's not really in the Bucs DNA, to what they're building. And I know, we all want it now and everything. And if you feel like you have the team, then make that move. Atlanta's doing that, but again, the Bucs are building something. The Bucs have the 3rd youngest roster in the NFL, while also having that group of 6 or 7 veterans that we know are here that are stars. I feel like it's just best to stay on that path than to bring in a guy who could be, he wants to get paid right away and stuff like that. And I don't think it's time for that necessarily in the Bucs locker room right now.
I would agree. And it does come down to the money. And if he wants, $25 million or even close to that, then that's a hard no for me, because again, this money, a lot of it is already, earmarked for the players that you already signed. So, and you want to be able to have some flexibility next year too, and go out and get somebody. And the Bucs, may not say this, but I think it's fair to say that this team will be better next year than it will be this year. Because this draft, especially if you add another really good draft class and you start stacking draft classes, they've got 2 really good draft classes in a row. I mean, we haven't seen these players, these rookies, in this draft play in a real NFL football game. But damn, I mean, what we've seen in practice and just the fact of the guys that they were able to get. I mean, did you see? And we'll play this in a second. Might as well play it right here. Speaking of the draft class, Elijah Klein, a 6th-round pick. Brian Baldinger did a breakdown of him yesterday. We've been talking about him all camp. I mean, the first time I went out in my football nerddom and sat there and watched one-on-ones and just watched bag drills for these offensive linemen, because I want to see what their feet look like. I want to see what they look like when they hit the sled. I want to see the force that when they pop that sled. You can see guys that bring a thud and guys that kind of don't. And Elijah Klein brings a thud. And that has to do with technique and timing and athleticism. They're all big, but it's kind of like, you've seen big guys hit, be power hitters and some not. You've seen little guys be power hitters, and that's because of the timing and the technique that it all comes together at the right time. The hips move, the legs move, and the hands move at the right time. That timing and technique is a talent, and this kid's got it. Let's go ahead and roll the Baldy tape here.
The Buccaneers drafted Elijah Klein, the left guard here, number 79, in the 6th round at a UTEP. He's a minor. And you watch him in this game. He played 66 snaps.
Look at that.
He came in the second quarter and he just did that. He moved bodies and he stayed on his feet. A big body. Here you go. You mugging the A-gap right here. All right. Back misses, little protection right here. But he does a good job right here. Kyle Trask hangs in there and makes this throw to Jarrett for 28 yards. Great throw and catch. All right, now you just watch him right here. Watch him pushing Zach Carter, the Bengals' 3rd-round pick last year. You push him right up into the lap of the linebacker. Take care of the down man first, then get to the second level. He did that repeatedly. And then he went to right guard in the 3rd quarter. So he went left guard, right guard in this game. And he would finish out the game. You watch this right here, this push.
Look at his feet.
Like, watch as Sean Tucker rips this run off. Like, the Bucs didn't get runs like this last year.
Right.
But they're getting movement this year. All right? And then all the way to the final minute of the game. This is the game-winning touchdown right here. Where do they run? Look at the push on the nose tackle right here. Just get movement.
See when he hits them, how they
Jefferson
move?
will figure out where the softness and the daylight is. And they punch it into the end zone in the final minute. And everybody, a little push right there from Elijah Klein. That's a good opening game debut for a 6th-round pick at a UTEP.
Yeah, just nailed it. I mean, you just see guys, and you saw that double team, and he moved up to the second level. Right. See, he and Barton get the movement, and then that allows him to get up to the second level. Last year, you got no movement. Hainsey couldn't move anybody. And so you have a stalemate right at the point of attack, which clogs up everything. There's nowhere. Oh, why isn't Rachaad White breaking tackles? There's nowhere to freaking go.
And these guys just seem like, between Barton and Klein, and I'll throw Malk in there as well, they're just so much more athletic of a profile than what the Bucs, Bob Hainsey and, Matt Filer and Nick Leverett. Like, I mean, respect to all those dudes. But listen, that was your guard center combo for a lot last year. And then we're sitting here wondering why the Bucs have the worst run game in the NFL. And then you see this, albeit just a preseason game. But I mean, what's really impressive there, and Baldy hit on it a lot, it's like when he touches people, like they move.
They move.
And it doesn't look like, by the way, he's doing it at like some crazy force, by the way. It's literally just one touch, and those guys are going. I saw 53, the nose tackle for for Cincinnati on that last play, literally just teleport right to left on my screen by one little shove from Elijah Klein. And then I love there he gets nasty. We love to see from the O-line. I mean, 6th-round pick, and he looks like, to me, he's further along in his development than I think any of us thought.
So when you talk about, this draft class, like Elijah Klein probably won't start in the beginning of the season, but I believe by the end of this season, maybe midseason, he'll be starting, and he'll be much better next year. Cody Mauch was overwhelmed at times last year. He couldn't get any movement. You're seeing him get movement now. And a lot of that is because when you get a center that can get movement, and you got 2 guys that can actually move people, then you can bounce up to the next level. It's a complete game changer for the run game.
Yeah, and it feels like too, like they're like, and I'm trying to like think back to last year, but it looks to me from a schematic standpoint there of watching some of those, like they're doing a lot more pulling and stuff like that, up
bit.
front.
Those were all pretty much zone plays, but we've seen some of that in practice, and I do think you're going to see a lot more elaborate blocking schemes.
Yeah,
with
because
this
they have the
athletic
more
line.
athletic guys to do it.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I mean, that's just getting off the ball in zone blocking, but you pull him and let him get 3 or 4 steps on a defensive end. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. But back to the Reddick situation. I think the Bucs would say, we're not going to go out and spend $50 million for an edge rusher. And when we're building something here, we're probably still a year away. We want all these guys to get better. We might be able to use some of that money to bring Godwin back, although I argued yesterday, and I think rightfully so, that an edge rusher is better than paying your maybe third best receiver if Jalen McMillan, So as much as we love Godwin, and Godwin may be a guy that just says, you know what, I made a lot of money in this league. You want to pay me 12 million, 15 million, I'll stick around. I don't know. He's going to have a big year. He's going to have a big year.
He'll be the real test of, guys love to stay here in Tampa. Chris Godwin will be a test for that, because I actually don't think he's going to be here next year, really. Realistically.
Yeah, I doubt it too. But again, this team, if Jalen McMillan becomes what we think he's going to become, another Chris Godwin, well, that's, you got a much cheaper, you got the same production for at 1/10 the cost of a third round pick instead of paying Chris Godwin. So this, as much as you hate to see guys like that leave, it's part of the salary cap. And they do, and trust me, they may be eyeballing a edge rusher for next year that they bring in on free agent, because they're going to have even more money when a lot of this dead cap money goes off. So I think that's probably why they did not go out and get Judon, and probably why they did not go out and get Reddick. But the bottom line is the Falcons did, and they're a much better team than they were yesterday. And that's okay. I mean, that's football. Now, would we have loved to have Judon for a third round pick and, much less money? Yes. Today, is it harder to win the NFC South? Yes. You got to admit that. You have to be objective that this is the missing piece that the Falcons have been looking for, and they went out and got it. I mean, thank God they didn't spend that first round pick on something that's going to help them this year. And they're going to get nothing out of their draft, like nothing.
Right.
And meanwhile, the Bucs are probably going to get Barton, Tyke, 2 starters. Jalen is a starter, going to be a starter for the most part. So that's 3 starters.
I think Bucky's going to get plenty of work.
He's going to be contributing, no question about it. Elijah Klein eventually may be a starter, and Devin Culp is making this team. Devin Culp, with the way that he blocked in the opening game, the way what we've seen in practice, to me, he's better than O'Keefe. He's better than I think he's probably, and Payne Durham got a knee yesterday. No damage.
I like where Payne Durham is, though. I don't know if I'd go as far to say he's better than Payne, but I don't think they have they don't have a true 1 tight end, but I think they have 3 just sort of I don't want to call them just bodies, because they're better than that, but you know what I mean. I think they've all been impressed, though. Like Otten too, from everything I've seen, seems like he's had a great camp too.
Otten, I bet every one of his overs, folks, he's going to have a humongous year if he stays healthy. No question about it. Yeah, and as Williams says, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, their first round pick is going to be an edge rusher next year, depending on how injuries go and the draft falls. We're a long way away, but yeah, that is their most pressing need. There's no question about that. So, and listen, if Diaby cannot play at a level, does it ruin the season this year? No, they'll figure out the pass rush, but it's going to weaken their secondary, because Bowles is going to have to come up with, as he always does, a lot of different schemes to get pressure. But when you're doing that, you're leaving your back end open. And I want to leave your back end open.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, it kind of puts a lot. I mean, I don't want to put too much on him because he's a rookie, obviously. But, I mean, just given what we saw from Yaya Diaby last year as a rookie, it's hard not to look and say, okay, Chris Braswell, what's his role going to be now? And I don't think he's. And you could tell me if I'm off base here, but I don't think he's necessarily flashed as much so far. And even in the game, it didn't look like he was just kind of out there. Just didn't really do
Braswell,
much. Yeah. Like I don't think
he
you've
got
really
a
seen
couple.
those like big
No,
flashes from him yet.
in the game, it was kind of odd. But I heard Bowles talk about this. He dropped a lot. Like he was dropping in pass coverage a lot,
Right.
which is not something. And Light even said this on the Ira Kaufman podcast. By the way, Jason Light will be joining us at some point on this podcast. He said that they're working on that because that's his weakness right now. He never did that at Alabama or very rarely, and it's part of the package. You got to be able to drop into pass rush if you're an edge rusher for this in this scheme. Not a lot, but you have to have the ability to do it. So I think yesterday they let him rush a little bit, and he got some wins. He got some wins one-on-one yesterday against the Jags. Remember, he's going against Tristan Wirfs a lot.
That's true.
you know, he's not getting any wins there, and he's not. Maybe in a couple of years, but not right now. And when he goes against Gedeke, that's another damn good tackle in this league. So he's going against two damn good tackles every time in practice. I don't think you're going to see a lot of flashes. Now he'll go against the second team and get pressure. So let's wait till the end of the praise. They really like Braswell. They like what they've seen. They see a lot more than we do. So I'm not. But yeah, I don't think he's flashed a lot. I wouldn't say he's flashed a lot as much as some other players. So anyway, as far as this Judon thing goes, look, the Falcons have taken a lot of hits. So if you look at the team in general, I'm just going to say this. The Falcons could be a hell of a lot better right now had they not gone out and gotten Penix at quarterback. And I understand why they did that. They could have played their cards much differently in terms of the quarterback, not spent the money on Cousins, maybe brought in a Justin Fields instead. And I think, drafted a wrecker off the edge in the first round, done some other thing and had lots of money. They didn't bring in Kirk Cousins at that ridiculous contract to go out and get even more proven free agents. I think the Falcons played their hand as poorly as they possibly can in terms of what they had available to make their team better. Now, will eventually Michael Penix become their long-term quarterback? Maybe. Will he be good? Maybe. What you could have really done if you're the Falcons is what I just said, and you would be an immeasurably better team this year. So I think the Falcons whiffed on multiple opportunities to improve the team that already had a pretty good roster. So in general, I think we got lucky in terms of how they screwed up their entire offseason. Jason Light had an offseason for the ages, and I'd give the Falcons a D- for what they had available in cap space and the roster that they had and what they're sitting here looking at. And if Kirk Cousins doesn't work out or he gets injured,
I mean, I'll be honest with you. If the Falcons had gotten Justin Fields instead of Kirk Cousins, I would be taking my ticket and telling you right now the Bucs are going to win the division hands down. Because Justin Fields doesn't move the needle for me. For me, I know you might see that there's something there. I personally don't.
Did he bet he's going to beat out Russell Wilson?
Okay, but what does that mean? What is that? What is beating out Russell Wilson in 2024?
Here's the thing about Justin Fields.
Kirk Cousins scares me way more. Kirk Cousins has always been a very solid quarterback in his career. Somewhere between 10 and 15 his entire career. He puts up yards, he puts up numbers, he can win games for you, not necessarily in the postseason. And yes, the Achilles, I get all that. But I'm just saying when Kirk Cousins is on the field healthy, he's a pretty good quarterback. Like, I don't want that to get lost there.
But this is still a team game. It's still a team game. And what you could have done with that cap money, that $45-50 million in cap money over the next 3 seasons that the Falcons have committed, well, at least 2, to Kirk Cousins. Okay, you could have got Justin Fields for free. He makes money in a 5th round pick.
It all comes down to with what they did with the 8th pick. That's the real sham here.
Exactly.
Because if you are signing Kirk Cousins and you're signaling that you're all in, in fact, now that I think about it, I actually have no idea what the Falcons are doing because
they don't either. My point. Look, you could have had Penix. You could have had Penix At 8, you knew you could have gotten. You had to know that you were going to get Michael Penix at that, without question.
Right.
Okay, and then you save the $45 million a year and go put that into edge rushers and other things you could have got 2 decent edge rushers.
That's what I'm saying. I'm even more
confused. You could have got
confused
Danielle
today.
Hunter. You could have and then still had your quarterback and then still been able to use the draft capital on the first. I mean, my God, they could be sitting here with Danielle Hunter, Dallas Turner, Michael Penix at quarterback, and three other good players, and probably still going out and got Matthew Judon. Then you think the Falcons would be pretty good? Yes, they would be really good. They have the whole thing up.
Yeah,
so
and I was just because that's what I'm saying. It's like if you're signing Kirk Cousins and you're trading for 32-year-old Matthew Judon and all those things, obviously you're telling me you're all in. I got that. But then instead of getting a player who could help you right away, at a premier position, you're taking a quarterback to sit. Right. And they're not done, by the way, because it sounds like they restructured Chris Lindstrom's deal today, by the way.
Okay.
To open up cap space rather. And I think I saw earlier this week they were working out Justin Simmons, who was the former All-Pro safety from Denver, who for whatever reason is still available. I have no idea why, because it's not like he's over the hill or anything like that. He's still a really good safety.
So was Ryan Neal last year.
Justin Simmons is a little bit better than Ryan Neal. A little bit more of a profile.
Neal was PFF rated number 2 safety in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, it sounds like they're not done. They're going to try to get Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates. I mean, that's going to be one hell of a safety tandem on paper. So the Falcons aren't done. The Falcons are not done.
Well, they've screwed up the whole thing to this point. They could have been so much better, and screw them. Well, not really.
But all those assets are old, by the way. We're talking about 36-year-old quarterback, 32 edge rusher, and a 31-year-old safety.
Yeah, but those guys can play.
They can play, but it just depends. Do the Falcons really think that they're there?
Yeah. All right, before we get into the Rays, we can do that in the next segment. Let's get to some of the great comments we have this morning. You guys are jumping on it. John Hill says, with Mike Evans injured in practice, he walked off but came back in practice. He's fine. Funderburk in a walking boot. Heard that. Walking boots don't scare me anymore. Guys wear walking boots after games just to give their feet a rest. It's kind of weird. Rick chiming in says, 3rd round for a proven DN. Yes, please. JTS will never make it. If salary is right, Reddick would be an upgrade of skill and nastiness. Yeah, but I think Nick is right. I think he's trying to get a Danielle Hunter deal, and that's too much. That's just too much.
Yeah.
That's going to screw up your entire salary structure. William Madden says, how about draft pick next year for DN? I don't think there's any question about that. Bill Madden, they're going to be looking for an edge rusher next year. Salary is right. Less money with no taxes versus New York or Philly. Yeah, but still, if you're looking for the $25 million, and even $20 million is too much. I think it's too much a year. At this point, it's a risk. I mean, the edge rusher is so important, but I think the Bucs feel really good about where their pass rush is right now.
Yeah, it is. I just don't want to pay for somebody who I know is going to decline in a couple. I don't want to get.
Christopher Cole was right yesterday about Braswell had 4 sacks. So if Braswell, they feel like Braswell is going to be really good coming off the edge. So if you have Diaby and Braswell, don't forget we put a 2nd-round pick into this kid, so we've already invested. And Anthony Nelson, is sneaky good. He's sneaky good. He's going to get you 6-7 sacks a year. James says, I agree, JP, but Falcons did make up for the draft by getting an elite edge rusher. They did, but they still didn't play their hand correctly. They're a better team today than they were yesterday. There's no question about that. But are they still good enough? We'll see. James says Justin Fields is dropping snaps and hasn't been impressive since workouts began. Falcons are going to be tough, and the Bucs still need an edge rusher, JP. Listen, Justin Fields dropped a couple snaps. The center also was replaced, and then they didn't have any more drop snaps. So it's not only on Justin Fields. But, yeah, if you think Justin Fields is a terrible quarterback because he dropped 2 snaps in preseason, I'm gonna disagree. I've seen enough for him to be that he's competent and could get better. I think he could get better in the right system, especially with the run game and what the Falcons have as weapons. But they also took Michael Penix. So either way, you take either one of them. But my point is the Falcons effed up big time.
That's a good comment down there.
Which one? Hit it.
Jeremy Lowe just dropped it. No, a JPP return is not ideal. He's past it. But it does kind of remind me that the Bucs, I guess I forgot about this. And this was a big move that Jason made, right? This was like now that I think about it, that was really what kickstarted, I think, Jason when he got on a roll where he was making every move that was the right move. And JPP, when they got him, what was he, 28, 29 at that time? 29.
Yeah,
and people thought his best football, I guess, might have been behind him too.
Right.
So
remember, he started I think he started in the league when he was 20. Came out of USF at 20 years old.
Right. He had a lot of tread on his tires, but we forget how really.
Oh, he was critical.
He was very critical to
the room,
3 or 4 years.
Leadership, to the room, and his play.
But I don't think Hassan Reddick is that, though. Based on the way Hassan Reddick has been.
We have 2 Super Bowls. The Bucs have 2 Super Bowls. And
right.
Rich McKay was roundly criticized for how much money he gave Simeon Rice. They don't win that Super Bowl without Simeon Rice. No way. No way. He was an absolute monster coming off the edge. Not the greatest at the run game, but whatever. Dominated in the Super Bowl and the playoffs. Simeon Rice, without him, they don't win it. And without JPP, I don't think they don't win. That's how key. You got to get, but they believe Yaya Diaby is their Simeon Rice and their JPP.
Right. That's what I say. I think the difference at those times was the Bucs didn't have anything in the chamber at all. I think they were they didn't have that guy in line.
Nope.
Where now they have it and multiple guys.
That's what they think. That's what they think. So,
right.
And it's, and if they believe that in their hearts that their scouts are right on Diaby, and I think they are, I think we've seen enough from him to understand that, and he's still raw, super, super raw. I think that's why they're not going to go out and bust their salary cap wide open when they may not need to.
Right.
And I think that's fair. I think that until I will say this, and Hassan Reddick may be available midseason. If you get 6 games into the season and Diaby can't play and Braswell's not who you thought you were, and there may be some other edge rushers that come available.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then maybe you make that move then. But if you went out and Diaby's a monster coming off the edge and Braswell's getting pressure as well, plus the 2 guys, Vea and Cansey in the middle, who we believe are both going to be better pass rushers this year, not to mention your Todd Bowles blitz packages. With Tyke Smith coming off the edge, we've seen that, and I think they'll find a nice role for Deloach to do that as well. I think they feel really, really good about that. And if they go through 6 games and it's not working, then maybe you make a move. But at this point, I just don't see how you go out, give up a 3rd or maybe even a 2nd for Hassan Reddick, and then have to bust your salary cap to pay him. And he's I don't want to say he's a malcontent, but clearly it's been about the money for him. It's been about the money for him. So 2 organizations now have had issues. Do you really want to bring that into Camp Kumbaya? No.
Yeah, and 2 organizations, by the way, that are quote unquote Super Bowl contenders too.
Yeah, and I would say Philly's a good organization, especially Howie Roseman knows what he's doing. When it comes to building a roster, he knows what he's doing. I won't say that about the Jets. The Jets are idiots.
I was going to say, it's funny how the narrative flipped. It's like now he's a Jet. So now it's like, oh, it's not a Hassan Reddick problem. It's a Jet problem. It's a Joe Douglas problem.
Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. You give up a 3rd round pick for a guy.
I will say, that's what I'm saying. If you are trading for him, if you are trading for him, you should have that number, that discussion already locked down of, hey, what do you want? Okay, we can match that. We're going to go trade for you. I thought that's how business worked.
Now, did Hassan bait and switch? Did his agent say, yeah, we'll work for that? And then they get there and Hassan sees the Danielle Hunter trade and goes, nah, I want more. Although the Danielle Hunter thing happened before the Reddick trade. Maybe that's why, Philadelphia said, yo, you want Danielle Hunter money? No, we're not giving it to you. We'll ship you out. So the Jets should have known. The Jets should have known. You have to get the deal done if you make the trade. pretty simple in my opinion. Nathan Elliott, good morning to you, my friend, says Deloach has to play better in the next 2 preseason games to make the team. If they try to place him on the practice squad, it will be picked up by somebody else. I think you're right. And right now, I think the numbers are not in his favor, even though I think they like what they've seen from him. I don't think there was any great play. I don't think it was bad play. Sometimes you're a linebacker, you don't make some plays in a preseason game. It doesn't mean you play poorly. It doesn't mean you play poorly. It just means that maybe plays didn't come your way. Devin White can run out in a preseason game and make a bunch of splash plays because he's not playing in phase and it's not disciplined. And, that's not great football. You may look like it. Oh, we got 2 tackles for loss and an interception. I mean, sometimes that's you're like, if you're not doing your job, then that's not good. But so I don't know. I think we got a long way to go on Deloach, but I would agree with you. If they try to get him to the practice squad, I think somebody will pick him up. I agree. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side, and I don't even want to tease Rays baseball. People will leave. Like they won't want to listen to that stuff. But actually, I think there's some funny stuff to talk about with the Rays.
Nobody wants to watch Rays baseball. I tell you that.
It's so bad. It is so freaking bad. I was watching Little League. I was watching Keystone play last night.
More entertaining.
Yeah,
More entertaining watching
absolutely.
the 12-year-olds play.
100%. Not even close. All right, we're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. Scott Jeeves, great attorney, great dude. We hear him all the time on this show, telling you about the FSU legal situation. Have him and his attorneys fight for you. If you've been involved in an accident, something happened at work, you have any legal issues at all, it's a free call. They will do a free case evaluation for you. Just give them a call. JEEVESLawgroup.com. They are local, they are aggressive, and they are trusted, and they get results. So give them a call and tell them JP sent you. It's the JeevesLawGroup.com, not attorney spokesperson, office of St. Pete and Tampa. Back in 3. Celebrate August with the dazzling green hue of Peridot, known for its vibrant and refreshing sparkle. Yes, that's the birthstone of August at the Gold and Diamond Source. Explore the Gold and Diamond Source's stunning collection of Peridot jewelry, showcasing the gemstone's unique glow and versatility in rings, necklaces, and earrings. Peridot's distinctive color makes it a standout choice for any occasion, adding a touch of elegance and charm to your ensemble. Enjoy 15% off when you shop August Gems online only. Stop by the Golden Diamond Source to experience the allure of August Gem and let their expert staff help you find the perfect Peridot piece. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmsted Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. Folks, they've been 60 years, named the Small Business of the Year Chamber of Commerce, mostly because of their incredible customer service. So they'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance, make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799, ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808. 08.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
I'm done.
I'm scared to hear what you're about to say.
I just yelled, "Oh my God!" so loud. Ashley's like, "Oh my, what happened? What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm watching in the break, Stephen A. Smith show, and
I got it on my TV here too. I didn't have audio though. You had the audio, it seems like.
And I can't. Like, who's the blonde girl at the end? I can't remember her name.
Is it Nicole Briscoe?
It's Nicole Briscoe.
I think.
Those
they're doing some kind of first take Sports Center mashup.
Talking about Colin Kaepernick. And she just said, and Michael Leaf said the same thing. You don't think Colin Kaepernick's not better than some of these backups in the NFL? And then Nicole said, you don't think the Vikings are going to play Sam Darnold? You don't think Colin Kaepernick is better than Sam Darnold? She said that. Even being out of the league for 8 years, you don't think Colin Kaepernick is better? I mean, how much do you love your job? How much do you love your job that you have to support the narrative like that? Dude, I know you don't like getting into politics, but this is
I did have a take. This
is so freaking ridiculous. You tell me you know absolutely nothing about football without saying you know nothing about football. And Stephen A's in it on it as well. You don't think the brilliant Harbaugh is as a coach that he's not going to look at it on his coaching staff? See, Colin Kaepernick said he's keeping his shape. You know, I could probably do some stuff with Colin Kaepernick. No, did you see he put a workout on tape like 2 years ago? He couldn't even make the Olympic flag football team, folks. I can tell you.
I think what's important
way
to
better
note here,
quarterbacks than that.
What's important to note here, I think, 5 years ago,
ridiculous.
Yeah, I was going to say,
ESPN, you are ridiculous. You are. I can't even between you, Feinbaum, and these people talking about Colin. You're just promoting an agenda. You're not. Don't believe a thing that these people say. They don't even believe what they say, but they know when the higher ups hear them talking about Colin Kaepernick, ooh, they're gonna get another check. They might get a little something sweet in the bonus pool. They know that it's nothing but brown nosing their bosses.
Like that whole argument about Colin Kaepernick's better than quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, to me, like, that was a valid thing. That wasn't even just an argument. That was a fact in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, whatever. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We all know the reasons why he didn't play. We all know the reasons why he didn't play, but I'm just saying that statement alone of Colin Kaepernick is better than some of the quarterbacks in the NFL today, that was valid before. But listen, we're 8 years removed. And by the way, Colin Kaepernick is 36 years old.
And he hasn't played in 8 years, and these morons.
He has not played in the NFL in 8
go out.
years. Think just looking at it from a logistic standpoint, think of how much the NFL has changed in 8 years. And the fact that you haven't played, you're 36. I mean, no. I'm sorry. We're past it. If he wants to become a coach, become a coach. Obviously. If that's his way to get back into the game,
absolutely,
by all means.
Yeah.
But if he becomes a coach on the Chargers and Justin Herbert has his issue, ailing him in week 7, they shut him down. Are we going to do segments then where it's like, well, should they turn around and get Colin Kaepernick on the field? Are we going to do that then?
But as an organization, is he going to wear his pig socks? Is he going to, start doing interviews and talking about how the NFL draft is just like slave trading? Is he going to do interviews? Because I'm here to tell you, the press is going to run right to him the day he gets there. Is he going to talking about the wonderful attributes of Fidel Castro and communism? Actually, that probably will work well into the ESPN agenda right now. As a devout communist, is he going to continue to espouse the grandeur of socialism and communism as he done for so long, and continue to tell the world what a horrible place America is and that it's irredeemably racist, even though he's made hundreds of millions of dollars in this country? I mean, is this what's going to happen when he becomes a coach? This is what you want to bring into your organization? I mean, it is what it is, folks. Is he going to kneel for the anthem? Is that going to draw any attention when he's out there as an assistant coach? And you want people talking about, well, as soon as your quarterback doesn't play up to Justin Herbert gets injured or has a couple of bad games, we're gonna with the local radio station gonna get Stephen A. Smith on to go, you ought to be looking at Colin Kaepernick for Justin Herbert. Yeah, he can play. Are we serious right now? Are we freaking serious right now? Come on. Let's talk about something else.
Well, you're supposed to come back with the Rays, and then you let First Take divert you there. Got you all agitated.
It's so stupid. And it's not even really about Colin Kaepernick. It's more about ESPN than it is that. That's unbelievable. But no, it's so believable. Actually is completely believable. All right. Well, we didn't actually we talked so much about the edge rusher thing. We really didn't get into what happened yesterday in the joint practices. And I wasn't there, weren't my eyes, but we had Rick Ballou on yesterday that was there at that practice watching it all. And he brought up the fact that, yes, the Jags were making some plays. There were a lot of drops by Buccaneer receivers. We saw that. We saw O'Keefe had a drop right over the middle. Who else had drops? There were a lot of drops. Evans had some drops. Trey Palmer had some drops. And folks, this is part of why I believe these guys should be playing in preseason games, because you're getting contact, and you're getting contacted probably a little bit more aggressively than you do by your own teammates in practice. And it's also in your head that you're going to get popped. And that's part of learning how to catch the ball in traffic. When you know you're not going to get popped, it's a lot easier to catch football. And so I think this is a reason why we need to see them playing. And Bowles even said it, and Joe Bucs fan brought this up, Lee DeCamper brought this up, is that Bowles was, talking about they're not going to do one-on-ones because our receivers and corners are nicked up. So, you want to protect them. But then you're also saying we got to toughen up. Well, how are you going to toughen up if you're not playing these guys in a game? I think it's a valid question to ask. And it's something that coaches have to deal with on every how do you get your team ready? Mike Tomlin likes to, strap it up and let the guys get after it. Andy Reid puts his starters in for almost a whole quarter last week in the first preseason game. To me, that's, as Tomlin says, if you're gonna box, you better spar. you better you gotta get him in the fire. And now you say, well, look at what happened to J.J. McCarthy. It's football, man. That can happen. That can happen 4 snaps into a season, Aaron Rodgers. And maybe you could argue Aaron Rodgers not playing a lot in the preseason left him susceptible to that injury because he didn't build up the needed strength. I don't know, right? You can argue it either way. Guys are going to get hurt in this league. It's just part of it. But what I do know is if you don't put them in the fire, they're not going to be as good when they get to week 1.
We had this discussion last week. Every team, like I said, the Rams seem to win all the time, and they don't play a single starter. The Chiefs, on the other hand, play all their starters, and they win a lot too. The Chiefs already are. The Chiefs lost their number 1 receiver on the first play of the preseason.
Yeah.
And by the way, that injury, if you look into the seriousness of what that was, crazy, very dangerous injury. Marquise Brown. He sounded like he was diagnosed with some long thing, but it was basically like he had a broken clavicle or fractured clavicle.
For the year with a fractured clavicle?
No, he's not out for the year.
Okay.
But from what I was reading, apparently because there's all these different blood vessels near it, if it had gotten dislodged a certain way, I guess, and it it could have potentially popped one of those blood vessels, and it would have been a really dangerous situation for Marquise Brown. So that's why he had to go straight to the hospital after the injury to get care. So that's what I'm saying. But I think he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. But that's my point, though, is they put him out there, and it's the first play, and now, boom, you're without your new shiny toy for the first at least 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. But I would like to see the Bucs toughen up too. And that means you got to coach them a little bit harder and get them a little bit more.
Well, didn't Bowles say what he probably thinks they're going to play in that aiming for that third preseason game? It sounds like.
Yeah, it's so close to the season though. You still got 2 weeks, almost 11, 12 days before you play. But I don't know. I'd rather they play in the second preseason. They're going to play extensively. I'd rather it be in the second preseason game. That if you sprain an ankle or something like that, you got a little bit more time for game 1. So we'll see. Again, you got to freaking get them ready for week 1 because this team has got to get off to a fast start. The middle part of the season schedule is a gauntlet. So they got to come out 3-1, 4-0 out of the first 4 games, in my opinion. If they did it
last year.
They did. And it gave them some pad, right, to be able to come back in the end of the season. So, yeah. So just in terms of what happened yesterday, I liked it. I want to see, as I said yesterday when Rick Ballou gave us his opinion, I think the Bucs needed with this Camp Kumbaya, they needed a little smack in the face to say, okay, maybe we're not as good as we think we are. Maybe everything isn't, sunshine and rainbows. Maybe we need to bust our ass a little bit more. So I think that's good. It came at a good time. And I want to see what their response is today. And we'll start looking at some of the reports as they come in on Pewter Report and some of the others and give them full credit, as we always do. By the way, Pewter Report doing podcasts each and every day from Jacksonville and after the game. So I highly recommend you go get there. I believe they start at 4:00 today. Scott Reynolds and the whole group are in Jacksonville. So they'll have a full wrap up of what's going on there. So
I love their discussion they had last week with Raheem Morris was great.
Yeah.
Love hearing from Raheem. Some good stories, why it didn't work out here, being rivals, all good stuff. So I hate that we have to root against Raheem. It sucks. I
do too. Love Ra. I'm really pulling for him. He I'll tell you what though, he got I bet in a private moment. Because when they announced the Penix thing, it's like he wasn't all in. Just body language.
He's a defensive guy. You don't think he wanted the edge rusher? Of course.
Yes.
I don't think he looked at the depth chart and said, what do I got there? Caden Ellis? What are we doing here?
Alice Turner still on the board? Yeah. So I they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. And they got an easier schedule than the Bucs, obviously, but they could have been so much better. All right. Anything other stuff yesterday? Oh, and as Rick Ballou said, interior, Vita Vea was unblockable yesterday. The Jags interior line is a lot like what the Bucs was last year. And they went out and got a veteran center. Still didn't help them out yesterday. Golston had a big day. Vita Vea had a big day. Obviously, Kalijah is still hurt, and I don't like that. We don't know. I haven't even know if they've disclosed what his injury is, but he hasn't practiced in a while, and he's probably not going to play this week. So that's starting to bug me a little bit. He needs to be out there on the field.
Yeah. I guess what another observation that I've seen going around, I guess it's already going around today. Pewter Report said that Brian Thomas Jr. has been essentially the Bucs secondary has not had a good couple days. And Brian Thomas Jr., the rookie from LSU in particular, it sounds like it's going on again today. He's burning them again. So
torching them again. Now, a couple of those throws they said yesterday, especially the deep throws, would have been sacks because they don't hit the quarterback. They allow the quarterback to go through with the play so that everybody can get a rep. So yeah, and I love that. So, we think Zion McCollum's going to be a good corner. Is he? We think Jamel Dean's going to really have a great year. Is he? He can't catch the football. And I have not been impressed with Jamel Dean in practice. Every time I look up, somebody's catching a ball on him. But I know he's good, and I know he's PFF ranked number 3 or number 2 in terms of covering receivers man to man in terms of separation. But doesn't mean you're making plays on the ball. It doesn't mean if you're right next to the guy and you're allowing him to catch it, that's not great. That doesn't work. You got to be aggressive to the ball. So, yes, it's been Camp Kumbaya, but and by the way, yes, as Jeremy Lowe says, Brian Thomas is a beast, but he's a rookie. We don't know yet, but we think we know, and he's going to be pretty damn good. Man, how the hell did FSU beat LSU twice the last 2 years with Jaden Daniels, Brian Thomas?
AP,
are you freaking kidding me?
AP, I don't know how
FSU doesn't deserve to be in the back 10.
I just don't know how a team from a third-rate conference could beat a team from the Southeastern Conference. I can't believe that happened. And you said it happened twice?
It happened twice.
It happened twice.
FSU, that terrible FSU team doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. They're 4-0 against the SEC the last 2 years. Huh. Well, I'm sorry.
It's crazy.
Yes, they're 4-0 in the regular season.
Yeah. Did you know that? Did you know?
If anybody ever talks about 63-3 in terms of football analysis, you get disqualified from having any football knowledge whatsoever. Yeah. I don't care, and that includes you, Mr. Feinbaum. Honk honk.
Yeah. And did you know, by the way, that when you go 13-0 the year prior, did you know that? And then you return next year as the number 10 team right now in the poll. That apparently that means that you have to play Miami and you have to play Notre Dame. And you have to play Florida. They don't have to play you.
5-7.
You
Miami.
have to play them. Yeah.
You beat 45-3.
Florida State has to play Florida.
Ooh. Who's a debatable team? Debatable of what?
The Southeastern Conference.
Because it's the SEC. Does he? I mean, it's so. And that was last year. We were saying this all the time. Oh, they're 4-0 against the SEC. Oh yeah, but they could never play in the SEC. Oh, okay. Survey says.
Yeah. I shouldn't let Paul Feinbaum get to me, but he's been extra blowhardy like this entire offseason. Like, I don't know. I think he hates every team. I literally think he hates every team.
That's not in the SEC.
I don't know.
He thinks Florida is better than FSU. Just because they're in the SEC. Yeah. What do we have here?
Apparently Kyle Trask just threw a pick.
Did he really?
That's what Christopher Cole just chimed in and said. Trask overthrows Keefe and it's intercepted.
Yeah. Or Keefe didn't jump for the ball because he's not athletic enough to do it.
I saw earlier Baker threw an interception, but it was one that went right off the hands of Sean Tucker, so I don't think it was on him.
Mm-hmm.
But that backup quarterback job is still open, though. It's still open.
I think so. I mean, there's a lot of people that think, that's not real. I think it's very real because of the fact that Trask puts the ball is inaccurate enough that he puts the ball in harm's way, and you can't have that from your backup quarterback. Can't have that. Bruce Lang, I've not seen you in here before. Welcome, Bruce Lang. Thank you for joining in. Says, I have lost patience with Jose Siri not hustling to first at a key spot in the game last night. Had he beat out the ground ball, they may have been the difference in the game. Thank you, Bruce, for bringing this up. I brought this up on Twitter last night. And I was incensed. You have an offense, you especially, Jose Siri, now hitting under 200, where you have to make the most of every freaking opportunity. Kevin Cash has now perfected the getting a run with no hits. So kudos to him. They did it again last night. Taylor Walls gets a walk, basically steal set. But on the play, he gets to second base. He's jumping around at first base and start, stop. And then he goes. Here, Siri hits a ground ball to shortstop, who then flips the ball to the second baseman, Altuve, even though Taylor Walls is standing on the bag. So now Altuve has to turn a double play just to get Siri at first base. And then I see it, the first play, and I'm like, Siri wasn't even near the bag. He couldn't have been running. And thank you, Bally Sports, for giving us the replay. And what is Siri doing? Staring at the ball, number one, and then completely takes his foot off the gas after about 3 steps. And then sees Altuve is going to throw it to first and goes, oh, I better start running again. Mm-hmm. And Cash was asked about it after the game. God bless this man for holding his tongue, but maybe not God bless this man. Because at this point, we need Lou Piniella. I'm getting a little miffed at Cash. And he knows more about baseball than I'll ever know. And he knows more about his team. But can somebody flip a table? Somebody? He's got to do something to put a charge in these guys. And let's take a break. And I want to play this. I want to play the Kevin Cash. You got the Cash, right, from last night?
I have they gave me a minute of it. They didn't post it. Bally did not post it. So I got a minute of it from the Rays website here.
Oh, I wonder because he was asked about Siri last night, not running it out. Right. I don't. We'll see if it's included in it. Probably not. They probably said take that out. If not, we'll be able to tell you what he said. So I want to get to that because Bruce, you're absolutely 100% right. This pissed me off, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. All right, we'll take a quick break. We're brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Christopher Lugo will join us at 11:45. So if you have any questions about nutrition, hydration, your workout, testosterone, anything to do with health and fitness and nutrition, pop it up in the comments here, and we will do a Q&A with the doc when he comes on at 11:45. Free medical advice. You're getting free medical advice, folks, from Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. If you have an issue, you have a malady, something that's going on with you with your sleep, put the question in there, and the doc will answer it for free. Coming up. Quick break. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results, whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all. It's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Third Generation Plumbing and AC. If you're having any issues with your AC, call them right away. Go to their website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. They also do AC as well. They've been doing it since 1995 in the Tampa Bay area. John Rodriguez, third generation Tampanian, maybe even more than that, regaled me with some great stories of his Tampa family and his roots when we had lunch the other day. But a great local company. And if all you want is an honest tech, right? You don't want these techs coming in saying, oh, you need a new system when you just need your drain clean. Happens all the time, folks. Happens all the time. They're incentivized to do so, but not at Third Generation Plumbing and AC. So if you're having any issues or something pops up, they will get to you right away. A human being will actually answer the phone, not voicemail, or something else you got to dial into. They will come right out and help you out. And get the job done honestly, professionally, and on time, and for a great price. That's thirdgenerationplumbing.com, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. All right, do you have the cash stuff here that they posted? All right, let's see if he addresses them. By the way, last night, another incredible effort by the pitching staff. Zach Littell, the Astros had one hit, two hits the whole game, two hits, the game-winning hit in the 10th inning. Brings in a run to win it 2-1. So the Rays are now, 2 games under 500, swept by the Astros. And, for any of you who had thoughts of playoffs or anything, I told you 2 months ago that wasn't happening. But here we are. But this team is embarrassingly bad. It's embarrassingly bad for a $45 million payroll. It's not even major league quality. It's a joke. And it should be brought to light. It should be brought to light. And, you can say, well, look what they've done over the past few years. And we, eventually it was going to run out of miracles. But this roster right now, from an offensive standpoint, may be the worst I've ever seen in Major League Baseball ever.
Let's not be hyperbolic.
Worse than the White Sox.
Let's not be hyperbolic today. It's not there. Since the trade deadline, they've actually have scored the least amount of runs in baseball. So you could say that since the trade deadline.
Okay, since the trade deadline.
But no,
they gave away their 3 best hitters.
They are not the Chicago White Sox. Nobody is.
The White Sox scored 12 runs the other night and beat the Yankees. When's the last time the Rays scored 12 runs?
It's more about the Yankees, I'd say.
Okay. All right, here's Cash. We love our manager.
No doubt. I mean, you can appreciate the last couple innings. The guys that were pitching on the other side that they don't give up many runs throughout the regular season. Certainly, they've been there, done that in the postseason. But either way, we got to have better at bats. We got to put more pressure, and we got to give our pitchers a little bit more coverage, margin of error to work with. Our pitchers did a tremendous job. With Lit, it was more or less just kind of we got the off day, got a chance to be aggressive, use that to our advantage a little bit. I mean, we all know where he is at an inning standpoint this year. You know, Scott, he's probably not getting enough credit in their bullpen over there. He's doing some pretty good things. Got pretty nasty to Ben and threw him 3 changeups that I think Ben fouled off the last one. But yeah, I mean, any opportunity that is not coming through is very much magnified right now because we're just not putting much pressure on pitchers. I mean, the first 5 innings, we just didn't have much hard contact at all. You know, they're doing everything they can to get out of it. And, you know, when you're trying to get out of it, going against the Houston pitching staff's probably not the most ideal thing. But saying that, we can represent ourselves a little bit better at the plate. I think well, I'm very confident in that. It just, it's not coming easy right now.
I'm not confident.
No, not coming easy. I mean, it's a bad. It's, you know, I feel sorry for Cash. There's nothing you can do with that lineup.
Well, I will say this, and I mentioned this before. Oh, what was it? The other night they had a lefty on the mound before Kikuchi, the greatest name in baseball.
Kikuchi.
You say Kikuchi?
They could not hit the Kikuchi.
They could not. But the game before that, they had a
fistful of 100 in the whorehouse.
The game before that, I think they had a lefty on the mound, and I looked at the lineup that Kevin Cash sent out there, and I understand he doesn't really have the best, you know, options to work with. But I saw 5 guys who were hitting under 200, which happened again last night, by the way. And Brandon Lau was sat against a lefty. And did you know Brandon Lau is hitting 348 with a 652 slugging against lefties this year?
Why would you sit him then?
And he's your best hitter in your lineup, and it ain't even
the
close.
Only hitter in your
like, why was he sitting?
You're the only major league hitters in your lineup.
Why is Brandon Lau sitting? At all right now? You don't have the bodies for that.
Unless they wanted to get him a day off, and they just finally needed a day off. It's baseball. It makes no sense to me. You need a day off in baseball? Jesus Christ, you sit around most of the time.
I don't know. And then they're doing the same thing, by the way. They brought up this Misner. Well, I had some intrigue to kind of see. I've been hearing about him in the minors for a long time. I wanted to see him get some play. He's just on the bench. He's not even. He's like they're doing what they did to Austin Shenton earlier.
Yeah,
you're just like I don't get it.
How could it be worse?
But I got to see Johnny DeLuca every night. I got to see Taylor Walls every night. Oh my.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And they did not put the Siri thing in there, but he was asked about Siri not running it out, and he basically said in a pretty much a monotone, "Yeah, we got to be better there. You know, we got to, you know, give a better chance to get that out or get, you know." He was said it was wrong, but he didn't get mad about it. He didn't say anything, you know, that was an opportunity to light a fire. That was an opportunity to light a fire.
Well, don't play him today or tomorrow.
Let's see. Let's see.
Play him.
But, you know, I guess
we've done that. But here's the thing, though.
I think
this with Jose Siri before. He's been yanked from games. He's been sat down. Like this is who he is. This is who he is, and he's hitting under 200, and that magnifies it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Like his act just wears thin. I think around here.
Yeah, it's just bad.
But but they're life. It's just such a lifeless offense. There's nothing to get your hopes up about. Even Morel comes in. You know, you had some hype for him. What is he like 5 for like 50 in a Rays uniform?
Nicky numbers. Can you go look up Morel and give me his game by game since he hit the 2 home runs since he got here?
Yep.
It's 0 for 1 for 0 for, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
Since he hit the
2 home runs, first 2 games.
Since he hit the 2 home runs, he has had 47 at-bats. He has 3 hits. He's hitting .075.
3 for 47.
3 for 47 since the 2 home runs. And listen, I have to ask a big question now because we were all on the boat of, you know, sell, and they sold. But you know who the one player we were saying all along that you probably don't need to sell was Isaac Paredes.
Yes.
It's one thing to sell Randy Arozarena, who's 29, who's a Boras client, blah, blah, blah. It's another to sell Isaac Paredes. And I know Paredes wasn't exactly lighting it up before he got traded and whatever. But listen, the guy has proven that he can hit 30 home runs and drive in 90 whatever runs in this league. Yes. He was an all-star. He plays, I think, a better glove than he got credit for at third base, to be honest with you. I thought he really worked at it. And
he was working at first base too.
And he had flexibility to play first and all those things. And now you traded him for a third baseman who is the same age as him, who is, from what I can tell,
one more year of control. So
yeah, from what I can tell, is way worse and doesn't have the plate discipline whatsoever that Isak Paredes had.
Just giving away at bats.
He has no
Just
position.
swinging. Yeah,
he has no position. He cannot play in the field. So I don't get that trade.
Yeah,
I don't
get a lot of the trades. They for nothing but you gave up good major league players and got nobody back that can help you on your roster. Nobody. Morel's he's awful. He is awful.
You didn't have to trade Isak Paredes.
No, you didn't have to. You didn't have to trade Jason Adam either, but you did. You did. And you could say, well, we have plenty of relievers. Well, when they get injured, go tell me that. Nick's gone for the moment. Hopefully I'm not. Some of the other thoughts here. Jordan G., it's good to see UF book Miami again. Things are all right in college football when Miami, FSU, and UF all played one another in the 90s and epic rivalry in state. I think it should be mandatory every year. And I think for the non-conference games, FSU should be playing FAU, FIU, USF every freaking year, or at least on some type of rotation. Because those games, they matter. And FAMU as well. USF's playing Bethune this year. All these state schools should be playing each other because it gives an opportunity for those fans to go see other stadiums, and it packs the place, because you're going to bring more people. And it helps the programs of each one in the state. But what does that matter? It's all about the SEC. Alani says the era of rebuild for the Rays, if it doesn't go as planned, like it did when they traded Longoria and got guys like Choi and Meadows and Willie, these could be some dark, dark years for the Rays. I totally agree, Lonnie. We've said this is, for many, many years, the Rays they won trades and they were bailed out by that Pittsburgh trade big time. The Archer trade that really got them Glass now, got them Boz, got them Meadows, which in turn got them Paredes, right? They've been able to really, but the Blake Snell trade was a horrific dud. Joe Ryan giving him away, Nate Lowe. I mean, look at the players that they've given away. These trades that they've made recently have been horrible. They're not getting the return that they used to get. And he's absolutely right, because the Rays don't draft very well. And they've always made up for it by going out with their pro scouts and getting undervalued talent and turning them into good players. Well, these trades that they've made recently have not been good. And they've given away some great, great players and got squadoosh, slapdick prospects in return. So,
and keep in mind, too, there's another trade they made that I'm starting to get talked about. And this one, this was an under-the-radar trade back in 2022. They traded Xavier Edwards, who, if you remember, I believe he was one of the quote-unquote slapdicks that Blake Snell said. He was far from it. He was a first-round pick in San Diego. Yeah. And I understand he played – I think he was a shortstop, and obviously the Rays, we all know, they thought they had their shortstop figured out. So I guess it's hard to, in hindsight, to go, oh, that was a bad trade. But I'm just going to point out that they traded him to Miami, and Xavier Edwards has come up this year, and he's hitting .358.
Yeah, and the Rays got two guys that are in single A right now, relief pitchers.
Yeah, I'm going to point. I mean, I hate to say, again, in hindsight, the Rays didn't think they needed a shortstop. They had Wander and they had Carson Williams coming down the pipeline and Wasabi. They didn't think they needed it, but it's worth pointing out that now they have an albatross there at short, and this guy is hitting, like I said, .358 with Miami.
Yeah, that was a huge whiff. So they're we always like to say that the front office has done a great job. Not recently. And that's why and I keep telling you folks, this team is 2 games under 500. They could easily be 20 games under. Like this is a terrible, terrible baseball.
Well, I mean, look at their run differential. Their run differential tells you they're way worse than their record.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Lonnie says the modern era of Rays baseball is an algorithm based on catching lightning in a bottle. It kind of is. And they, like I said, they're running out of good fortune.
I mean, all this has taught me, like everything they've done is, we thought we were setting themselves up to go and compete next year, right? Reset everything and try to come back next
No,
year.
no.
But
Stu said it was all about this year. They were going all in to
yeah,
get the
that's
vote,
right.
to get the vote.
Yeah, it changes
And
all
as
the
soon as
time.
they got it, I'm
But
going to have a $90 million payroll and keep all the players you love. And as soon as I get that vote, they're all gone.
yeah,
Then I'm back
I
to
just think what
45
we have to
million.
accept is that we thought they were making moves to like better themselves for next year, but this all to me is looking for 2027. It's going to be down the line because
Yeah.
the offense, the pitching's going to be great. We all know that. But
Where's
the
the offense
offense,
coming from?
where
Yeah.
I don't see the immediate upgrades next year because, you can tell me, well, the Rays freed up $55 million. You think they're really going to spend that money on offense?
No.
No. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go dumpster diving.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
they're
they're
going
going
to
to do.
say, "Oh, we're letting our younger players like Caminero and Carson Williams and Meisner, we're going to let them play their way. And by the time we move into the new stadium, they're going to be really good because we have a $700 million mortgage now. They're already talking about that." William Madden asked if they need to change the manager. I say no. Hardy, no. Look at these batting averages, bro. Like, what is he supposed to do with this team? I mean, he's got him catching, pitching and catching, which is, I just don't. What do you do when half your team is hitting under 200? Through 2/3 of your team is hitting under. What can a manager do?
And he's grasping for straw. I mean, he's, like I said, having Johnny DeLuca hitting leadoff sometimes and stuff like that. Like he's really like trying anything at this point to get these guys going, and they just don't have it. They don't have it. And that's why it was so foolish to me. There were so many fans that were just trying to sell themselves on, oh, well, they're still in it, and I think they could go on a run. And no, they can't. There's no evidence that said they were ever going to go on a run. Nothing. And now, like, they finally got 4 games over 500, and guess what? Then they fell right back below it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they played good teams. They have the
Yes.
hardest schedule in the second half of the season. Baltimore blasted them. Houston blasted them. Now Arizona, they got to play Arizona, who's red hot. They're going to blast them. That's what they are. They're a bad baseball team. Not going on any run.
And the other part of it is they're so boring. As Rick says, they're missing a huge advertisement gold mine. Any sleep disorder apnea just put all over this broadcast. Absolutely. I feel sorry for our friend Rich Hollenberg and Doug Wechter. Is like they have to come on these post-game shows and like, what are you going to say? What can you say? It's mind-numbing. They got to fill a half an hour saying these guys can't hit. They pitch great. They can't hit. Nothing you can do about it. By the way, Josh Lowe had a great year last year. What's going on with him? That's a big problem because that guy last year, and again, a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's got no protection in the lineup.
I think it's protection, and he's had some injuries this year, and I think it was from the beginning. It just kind of he never could get into a groove, and now you're in a bad offense. Everybody knows you're one of the better players there, so you get pitched differently. I just think it's kind of a lost season for him at the moment, but I'm not giving up on him. I mean, we saw what he did last year. I'm not giving up on him.
No, not yet. But it's an alarming sign. It's an alarming sign. Jordan G says the Rays are a 500 team and have been all season. Could always be worse. Mediocre is frustrating as a fan because they give you brief hope in streaky periods, just like the Bucs last season were a 500 team. Yeah, but you could see in the Bucs that they had some more talent on that team. And I thought last year their coaching was holding them back tremendously. But I think hopefully they've changed that a little bit. And we've talked about that. The Bulls is a little bit more confident this year, and hopefully he can be more aggressive as a game manager. James says, if Cash had a pair, he would tell management he is done playing Siri. That's what Cash should do, but he won't. It's also why he is a very low-paid MLB manager. I think he would like to. Yeah, I do think he would. I think he has always been a good soldier for this franchise, and he's probably fed up with it. I'm just guessing. I haven't talked to Cash in years. I don't know, but I know some people that do know him, and I'm guessing he's really fed up with it. I would at some point, if this is going to be a downturn for the Rays for another 3-4 years, he loves it here. He grew up here. He doesn't want to leave here, I don't think, but he might, go talk to Joe Madden about what it's like managing with some actual assets.
I mean, here's the thing. Kevin Cash is regarded as, arguably the best manager in baseball. I don't think that's us being a homer. I mean, I think the entire league recognizes that. So what's to stop another team that has a better situation long-term than the Rays from inquiring about Kevin Cash and giving him a big contract to make a jump? And what if Kevin just says, hey, you know what? I've been here for 10 years. We've done a lot of great things, but maybe it's time for me. Yeah. I don't want Kevin Cash to leave. I'm not advocating for the Rays to fire him or anything like that. Absolutely not. I'm just saying it comes down to Kevin Cash if he would want to make that call based on the outlook of this team at the moment, because he's too good of a manager to be having to send out these lineup cards day in and day out.
I agree wholeheartedly. Bruce asked this question: why not bring up Jake Mangum, who's hitting .328 at Durham? Couldn't be any worse. I think for September, it'd probably be a September call-up, although they usually just go to relief pitchers. I mean, yeah, why not? Any of these AAA guys that can actually put the bat on the ball, it can't be worse. Worse than Johnny DeLuca?
It's mind-boggling that Johnny DeLuca has made it the last 3 months on this roster.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
And I think this is definitely true. It says, I was all in on the Rays making trades, but they traded the wrong players. Randy, yes, but Itzhak, Eflin, and not Siri? Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody wanted Siri. But, yeah, I wouldn't have traded Eflin. I don't care what you say about Jeffrey Springs coming back. You need depth, and at $18 million, he's cheap. He's cheap at $18 million. It's another Charlie Morton situation. And you trade him to your freaking division rival, and he comes in and shuts you down. Like, who does that? What organization trades your best pitcher to a pitching-starved team within your division? The Orioles. Like, here's exactly what you need. Step right up, and don't even get a major leaguer in return. What the F? Like,
I mean, I will say the especially when you look at that trade and you look at what what Miami was able to get from Baltimore for Trevor Rogers, and Zach Eflin's a far better pitcher than Trevor Rogers, and Miami ended up getting Kerstad and Connor Norby, Stowers and Connor Norby, who are two guys who are ready to play now.
Yes,
and were their top two of their top prospects. Like, I guess when you compare it from that standpoint, Miami definitely got the shinier return than the Rays did.
Yeah. And guys that can help right now.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying, though. If you just analyze everything, it's clear to me that the Rays, it's not about really 2025. It's going to be about 2026 and 2027 and all down there, because now all of a sudden they have the number one farm system in baseball again.
Yeah. Which gets you what? Squadouche. When you don't pay it off at the end, having a great farm system is good because you can bring some players up and then augment them with big time free agents and build a winning team. But the Rays never make that next step. They never.
Well, the other side of that is they have more guys in the chamber now that they can use as trade bait if they want to go make those moves. But will they do that?
Trade bait for what? Good players that make money like Eflin? They won't do it. They won't. It's all about money. So sad. All right, we'll take another break, come back, and we'll do a little college football when we come back. Talk a little, and we'll go around the NFL with some other stories around the NFL, so we can do that. We are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Just heard a couple friends the other day bitching about their homeowners insurance going up $1,400. $1,400. By the way, what do the insurance companies do with all those years that we didn't have any hurricanes? Weren't they supposed to put that money away? Now they tell you they have to raise your rates because they are paying out money. Oh, weren't you supposed to keep that money? Anyway, go find an insurance company we saved $500, and Italiano went out and did all the work. They found another company that was more suited to us. A great company, saved us $500. There are new companies coming into Florida because they can make money here because the rates are so high. So take advantage of it, switch companies, and you don't have to do the work. Italiano will do it for you. 813-877-7799. And please tell them JP sent you over there. Also, they'll do the same for your auto insurance, the business insurance as well, whatever your insurance needs are. Italiano Insurance, been in business for over 60 years here locally. Great customer service. Great local folks. 813-877-7799. Back in 3. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best of the business.
Take your business or nonprofit to the next level with the power of video. Red House Streaming offers complete field production services. Our experience and expertise has you covered every step of the way wherever you want to go. From initial concept to final delivery, we'll handle it all and bring your vision to life. As your all-in-one production partner, we offer comprehensive marketing packages that not only showcase your brand, but amplify your reach. Contact Red House Streaming today.
Hey, if you love golf and the new Top Tracer virtual golf experiences that have taken the golf world by storm, well, you're going to love the new Top Tracer range at Rogers Park in Tampa. It combines the fun of competing virtually on the world's greatest courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with an outdoor range experience to track your ball, not just hitting it to that net. I love it. They have great brand new spacious covered bays, huge fans blowing down. It's very enjoyable even when it's hot. So grab your golf buddies. Great price, $25 an hour up to $45 at peak times. Balls are included, and you can also play the new short course for just $9. It's all at rogersparkgolf.net. To reserve a bay, go to rogersparkgolf.net. I'll see you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the GAP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. Guys, you can shop there too. It's not just for the ladies or getting stuff for the ladies. Guys wear jewelry too. It's very fashionable these days for guys to wear jewelry, whether it's rings, necklaces, watches, of course. Go get that baller watch. They have a great selection of Rolexes, tags, all the big names right there, new and used. So that's a great place to go do that. And you can trust them, obviously. These are real watches. You got to worry about that. You go buy to another store that's not been around, you don't trust them. Those things could be fake, and you're spending 25 grand on a fake Rolex. That's a bad idea. Go to somewhere that's been there for 40 years and ain't going anywhere. That's the gold and diamond source. Same thing goes with diamonds, folks. You never know if they're real, right? It's hard to tell these days, but they are real at the gold and diamond source because you can trust them. So go, guys, go shopping for your lady or shopping for yourself at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Alberton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Perusing the X machine, the Peter Report guys are championing the Bucs run defense and how much better it is. You saw it against the Bengals, and you've seen it all camp. Take Devin White out, who can't get off a block, and put KJ Britt in and JJ Russell. You're going to have better run defense. Plus, you got Vita Vea slimmed down. Will Golston, who's still a monster. Yeah, their run defense is going to be good. Excited about that. Kyle Trask throwing picks. Baker Mayfield said the run game looked great today, but they got to clean up some execution on the offensive side. Todd Bowles championing the run defense as well. Also said Chris Braswell has been excellent since he's come on. He's been one of the most pleasant surprises and is getting better and better. Another reason you won't see them trading for Hassan Reddick. So those are your early reports on Bucs Jags Part 2. Are you frozen, or do you have something else there you wanted to say?
I was frozen there for a second, but I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. We played a little bit. Oh, we're going around the NFL. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. J.J. McCarthy out for the season. I thought he was going to be maybe a few weeks in with a meniscus there, but they saying he's out for the season. So Sam Darnold is in for your Vikings. It's going to be their starter. I think he was probably going to start the season anyway, but JJ had such a great first game that maybe that was going to change. But I'm a little surprised they're calling the season already with a meniscus tear because those don't typically take the whole season.
I guess it depends. They don't know until they actually go and do the procedure.
The severity of it.
The severity of it, and I guess he required one that needed a full repair. So I guess that's going to put him out for the whole season. So the Minnesota stock is not high for me because Sam Darnold as a starting quarterback and the year of our Lord 2024. I'm not into that one. I'm not into that one at all. And I hate it for JJ because what a start. What a start he had to his career. I went back and watched every throw that he made in that game, and I thought he was really dialed in. So that's definitely a blow for him and for Minnesota.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff going around the league, by the way. And of course, the Bucs in Camp Kumbaya have avoided injuries for the most part. And we'll hopefully see. There's some things I want to see. We'll talk about this tomorrow in the second Jacksonville game. And I think the backup quarterback job is very, very interesting. And I wonder if Wolford's going to get the start. I don't think Bowles has said yet, has he?
I don't think he said anything, but if that would be pretty jarring if Wolford got the start.
You think?
Be honest with you. It would be jarring because that would be like a signal, to everybody, oh, this is real. And
I asked Bowles on Monday or Sunday if it's real, and he said yes. It's a competition. It's a real competition. Why do we think it's not?
Because Kyle Trask has been, he was a second-round pick, so you put some equity in him, and he's been here for 4 years? This is his fourth year now in Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
They had you viewed him, and I put air quotes around it. You viewed him as a viable competitor to Baker Mayfield last camp, and he had some good moments. But I think all that sort of plays a role in it. But at the same time, John Wolford having the familiarity in this offense, Kyle Trask, this is him learning another new offense, which he's had to do a lot here in Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think those a big role in it. But at the end of the day, Kyle Trask stopped turning over the football.
Yeah, exactly. Which he's done a couple times today. I haven't seen much Wolford's name even mentioned.
And numbers, by the way, he's got to take advantage of those preseason reps because that's all he gets. And his preseason numbers historically with the Bucs are very just middle of the road.
Yeah, they're not great.
The road. And you see a lot of other quarterbacks like that seem to light it up in the preseason, and it gives them some of that security. But you don't really get that with Kyle Trask.
Especially when they've been in the league for 4 years.
Exactly. You just I think we all just wish that he was further along at this point than what he is
Ryan
now.
Griffin used to look fantastic. Yeah. 4 years into this, he should be much better, especially against second teamers.
Right. We shouldn't even be having this conversation of him having to compete with John Wolford.
Yeah, and Wolford is, he's 6'1", 215. He's not a physical specimen, doesn't have a cannon for an arm, but he runs the offense really, really well. And he has a lot more game experience than Kyle Trask does.
Yep.
So if you're looking at the numbers on paper and also, looking at the play, especially last game, where one guy's putting and maybe Trask is just trying to push the envelope, and maybe the coaches want him to. Maybe they're saying, listen, we want to see you throw the ball downfield. Don't worry about the interceptions. Don't worry about putting it in harm's way. I just want to see you let it rip. And, he's not let it rip very well in terms of putting, again, I had 4 turnover-worthy plays last game in 20 throws. I think other people had 2 or 3, but I'm a little bit more liberal with that. But there's some really, really bad throws. And I'm not a hater on Trask because I was saying last year he had a great camp, and I thought I didn't think he should have won the job, but I thought he was way better than he's been this year. Way better.
Hey, by the way, I know we talked a lot about Elijah Klein earlier, but I came across this, by the way, and this is just really emphasizing the point that we said that he's been fantastic so far. And in that game against Cincinnati, I found this PFF, their highest graded offensive lineman from the 2024 class. Number 1 was Graham Barton, and number 2 was Elijah Klein. So, and that's for the entire league right there.
How about that?
That's how those 2 guys were both just beast in that game. So something to look forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing that offensive line continue to get some reps in these games.
Yeah, to me, that's what I'm going to be watching. I'm watching Klein. Be watching Graham Barton still, watching those 2 work together because Graham's going to, I think, get a lot of run. Tyke Smith, Braswell. I'm going to see Braswell this week and see him make some splash plays. And
I want to see more from Tyke. I got to see more from Tyke.
Yeah, Tyke had the bad penalty against Burrow that bailed them out and allowed them to get a touchdown.
Right. And I hate it because he played the route so well.
Yeah.
Until that push at the end. And he panicked.
It's a terrible call, by the way. But Burrow threw the ball away.
Yeah. He panicked at the end of that route. And that's kind of took me back a little bit because, we've all talked about the smartness and the instincts that he plays with. And, you played at a buttoned up program and everything and stuff like that. And I didn't see things like that on his college tape. So, I think he definitely, even though that they're sort of just giving him that slot corner sort of role right now, or nickel, whatever they call it. I think I need to see a little bit more from him in some of these games.
I wanted to talk real quickly about this other story that popped up yesterday. Wander Franco had his last hearing delayed again. But here's the headline. The father of the victim has now come forward and asked the Dominican Republic officials to drop the charges. The father of a 14-year-old girl who was evidently in a relationship with Wander Franco, whose mother was pimping her out, now wants the charges dropped, saying there's not enough evidence. This is a bizarre turn.
Very bizarre.
This is a bizarre turn. Now, first thing tells me is I wonder how much he got paid. But regardless, how does that work? Now, at least in the United States, the states can still go forward with charges. But I don't know how this affects what the legalities are in the Dominican Republic, but that would be interesting. If the state has to drop the charges because the father is saying there's not enough evidence, it's kind of weird. And he's free to go. Now what? The Rays owe him $172 million.
I think before anybody tries to even put it out there into the universe, Wander Franco is not playing ever again for this team. There is no way. In my opinion, there is no way.
I agree with you because they don't want to pay him. I don't know.
I don't think it's just they want to pay him. I think they would prefer to just listen. It happened. We're just gonna goodbye. And I think MLB, regardless of what happens, MLB is going to come down hard on him. I think anyway with a punishment.
You know, Trevor Bauer him?
I mean, a little bit different of a situation.
Very
in terms
different.
of
very
different situations, but I just do not see him playing again for Tampa Bay, even if this goes away. I don't. But it's a very bizarre case. It's been hard to like get a read on it one way or the other of what's going on. Obviously, it's very hard to get the reports out of the Puerto Rico, and how it relates to our legal system. So, and I guess it's being delayed until what, September, mid-September. So it's still we still got a long ways to go in this whole thing.
All right, we'll take our final break here real quick. Chris Lugo is on deck. If you have any questions about your health, your testosterone, your nutrition, anything in the health realm, he is here to answer your questions free of charge. How about that? That's pretty cool. So any questions that you guys have, put them in the comments or put them up on Twitter at the JP Peterson Show or at Nick Geddes News, and you will get your answers when we come back, courtesy of Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results, whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all. It's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we talk a little personal health with our good friend Chris Lugo from Bay Area Modern Medical Center. What's up, Doc? How are you?
Guys, how's it going?
Our boy Nick is hungover today. Tell him your story, Nick. He's on your weight loss plan.
Oh gosh, I went to the Zach Bryan concert last night at Raymond James, and I was tailgating for a long time. And I had a few drinks there. I had more inside. And the biggest mistake that I made, though, was I ate lunch at like noon, and I didn't eat anything else until I haven't eaten anything since, because this morning I tried to get something in my system and I could not hold anything down. And I'm all over the place. My system is just, I weighed yesterday and I weighed this morning and there was a 6-pound difference. Like there is nothing in me right now. Nothing. It's all come out. I threw up in my car on the way home. And I have yet to address it today. And I'm scared to go in there. I've had a whirlwind of the last 12 hours. So there you go.
Well, Doc, what do you think?
What'd you learn?
Alcohol is very bad. Don't drink it. Have a Pepsi, have a water, anything but alcohol. Just don't do it.
Gummies are great, man. You don't have a hangover the next day.
And when somebody passes you a fireball, like one of those little fireball things, number one, just throw it away or pour it out when no one's looking. Don't drink it. And then don't do it again 30 minutes later. Don't have 2 of them while drinking beer. Don't do it. That's what I learned.
At least the gummies enhance the concert. I don't think alcohol enhances it.
Yeah. No, we learned.
All right.
What's your hangover remedy, Doc?
If the gut's working, let's use the gut. But if not, call my buddy Matt England. He'll get you hooked up with an IV.
Yes.
Matt'll take good care of you. Kind of kickstart, since you're probably down 6 pounds of water.
Yeah.
That's those 70% of your muscles are water. So water is very important for the human body.
All right. So if you can't get the IV, what's in the IVs that you should try to throw into your body?
What's in them?
Yeah. Not the Whataburger taquitos with sausage, egg, and cheese and a Diet Coke work really well for me back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what's in the IV.
No, what's in the IV is going to be a lot of B vitamins in there, some zinc in there, some micronutrients that you've missed out on here. It's going to be volume, also fluids. Remember, in that IV also is going to be some salt water. Okay, saline is what we call it. That's going to be very important. The most prominent pump in every cell is the sodium potassium pumps. So sodium is very important. So when you're dehydrated from alcohol, that's one big thing you're missing. It's the sheer thing. Then you can put a little Zofran in there for the nausea to kind of calm the stomach down. Throw a little Pepsid in there. That's going to calm the stomach down that you've pissed off with all that alcohol. That's going to be the big thing. Yeah. People Myers cocktails, but that's a generic term.
Yeah.
There's little tidbits that you want to throw in there to kind of get more bang for your buck.
You know what you should come up with is the IVs you can do yourself, maybe self-injectable IVs.
Yeah.
I self-inject my chin. Yeah. I mean, I self-inject the testosterone, obviously. So if I had a vial of the Myers cocktail or whatever, I know it's not IV, but it's similar, right?
No, that's beside the point. No.
Would it be?
The gut's working, use the gut. If you can keep things down, like bone broth right now, Nick, that's probably the best things you do, some bone broth. Protein, hydration. It's going to have a little bit of salt in there too.
Ooh, that's
a win-win right there. It's not a lot of volume, right? It's not like you're trying to get down a cheeseburger, but bone broth.
Yeah, the banana that I tried to eat this morning, that did not work out well.
Yeah.
It did not work out.
In the bone broth, you can nurse it down. You don't have to try to chew it. It's just going to slurp on down.
Okay. Like beef broth or chicken
broth,
broth?
Yeah. Kettle and Fire is one I like. Beef broth. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. That's a good one. All right. Thomas Casper asked, do you request an extended blood profile with things overlooked like PSA?
Do I request an extended blood profile?
Yes,
PSA, prosthetic specific antigen. That's the blood work for the prostate. That should start at 50 years old, unless you've got a family history of prostate cancer, then it's 45. But even then, when you get a PSA, guess what else you get?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they go together like peas and carrots. But yeah, you should be getting a PSA done once a year. You should be getting your rectal exam done once a year. Oh, but I had a colonoscopy. Gastroenterologists don't care about your prostate. They really don't. Unless it was so big, they had a document when they're shoving the camera up there, or they're very anal retentive. But
Yes. Yes.
They talk about it, but otherwise they could care less about your prostate. It gets in their way when they're putting their camera up there.
So do your physical exam and make sure that it's completely done.
It's completely done. But remember, you need the finger wave too.
Okay.
Because you can have a normal PSA and a nodule on your prostate. That could be a very aggressive prostate cancer. Gleason 3+4, 4+3, Gleason 4+4. Those are bad cancers.
And I read this on Facebook the other day. Somebody said that he got a PSA last year, and then they just found out that they had prostate cancer, and it was aggressive. And we're hearing these turbo cancers connected to the vaccine. This is real stuff, right?
Yeah.
So do we need to step up our PSAs more than once a year now because these cancers are so aggressive?
No, I think once a year is perfectly fine unless you got a strong family history. But also you want to look at what's called the PSA velocity. How quickly is that PSA? PSA can be age dependent in the sense some urologists are a little more intuitive and will say, hey, a 45-year-old guy and younger should really truly have a PSA less than 1.5. 55 years old, 2.5. 65 years old, 3.5, and then we let you float up to 4. If you're greater, so if I get a 44-year-old guy who comes into practice and his PSA is 2.8, I'm going, yo, why you're 2.8? Like, did you have crazy sex the night before? Did you have anal manipulation? Like, there's, but hey, is that a lab?
You do cover all the bases. Wow.
Well, there's a lot of different things. Like, hey, I had sex last night. We had sex 4 times in one day. It was crazy. Like, hey, I expect to have an elevated PSA because of that.
Wow.
My gay patients, I ask them, hey, did you have sex the night before? Like, abstain, please. It's going to make the PSA higher than it really is. So you got to figure out why that PSA is elevated. This is why PSA gets a bad rap, because most providers or laymen don't, or not laymen, but or not urologists don't know what to do with that PSA when it's elevated.
Interesting stuff. We have another question. Chris, is there a supplement that I can take to get intoxicated quicker on expensive airport bar drinks?
Gummies.
Okay. Gummies. There you go.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas wants to know how important potassium is.
It's important.
There's no anal analysis.
But Tom, your potassium is pretty regulated in your body. The Homo sapiens is a pretty resilient organism. It's going to regulate the sodium potassium pumps very fine-tunedly on a regular basis. Taking too much potassium is a bad thing that can put you into a cardiac arrhythmia. Having too low potassium, patients who are on some diuretics, they can lose their potassium. That can also put them into an arrhythmia. All right. So, but the human body usually does a pretty good job on regulating potassium. I wouldn't say taking potassium supplements on a regular basis is a good thing. Not at all.
Oh, okay. Just eat a banana, right?
If you want, sure. I think of some other things, but more magnesium the merrier. I love magnesium. You can't really OD on magnesium. It's kind of really hard to do.
What foods are rich in magnesium?
Ooh.
Was that a stumper?
That's a stumper. I'm not going to probably give you a really great education. A lot of green leafy vegetables are going to have magnesium. But me personally, I take magnesium supplement, magnesium 3 and 8 or Magteen every night before bed, 45 minutes to an hour before bedtime.
Magnesium. It's good for the sleep. Absolutely. And Thomas also wanted to know do all prostate glands eventually become cancerous if you live long enough?
Sure. I think it's a really safe bet to say. I wouldn't say we're all. I would take out the word all in there. A good chance if you live long enough as a man, you're probably going to have some prostate cancer in that. Good chance. Not every single guy. No absolutes here in medicine. But yeah, if your 95-year-old grandfather still alive, if you did a biopsy of him or he did a prostatectomy on him, could he have some probably little low-grade 2+3, 3+3 Gleason? Probably could. But most men die with prostate cancer, not of prostate cancer.
Ashley chiming in on the anal analysis here, I think. She just said, ew.
Yeah, well, I just saw her walking down the stairs behind you there a second ago. I was going to make a comment.
That was on Nick vomiting. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. Diet Coke gives me low potassium. Are there certain things that deplete some of your better minerals and vitamins in your system that are bad for you. And I would say Diet Coke is probably one of them. My old
Like we always talk about moderation in life, right? So if I enjoy Diet Coke, that's great. Just don't drink 6 of them a day.
Yeah.
If that's your vice, then that's your vice. So I can think of other worse things in life you could be doing besides that. But no, they're not one specific thing that's going to deplete you unless it's something artificial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, last question. I'm taking a transatlantic flight to London next week. What's the best sleep aid? What would you recommend? Magnesium and what else?
You're going to London, so not too far. Not like we're doing a trip to South Africa, or you're going to New Zealand, which could be a really crazy flight.
8.5 hours.
What was that?
It's going to be an 8.5 hour flight.
The big thing is, to me, the big thing from an integrative medicine standpoint is once I get to England, I want to try to get on that schedule as quickly as possible. And some people think it's a little hokey pokey, but I don't care. Ground yourself, take your shoes off, get in the grass as soon as you can out there, get on the time zone as far as feeding cycles go. If you happen to get there at lunchtime and you're not hungry, eat lunch, eat something. Try to get on that time zone as quick as possible.
Yeah, we never have to worry about that. I'm always hungry.
Good. Yeah. But that's going to be the big thing.
Go to Trafalgar Square and take your shoes off. I think they have grass there. I don't know. Interesting.
Get some sun, get some grass on your feet, get on that time zone.
It's London. There's no sun in London.
I know. So they have a couple days. I've sunny days.
Plus all the smoke from the riots blocks out the sun. Is that a problem as well? Yeah. All right, Chris, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, my friend, for some of this great knowledge that they could use for their personal health.
BAMMC.com, Bravo Alpha Mike Charlie.com. Best way to go. You see the schedule. You can book your appointment right there. Easy to do.
All right, we got one more question. I'm going to keep you past the time. Dr. Lugo, can foods impact your arthritis?
Yes, 100%. I agree with that. Patient I just had here, I told her son to go carnivore because he had asthma and had some skin issues. Go carnivore. Try it out. For shits and giggles, I know you don't want me to cussing, but I'm going to say it anyway. For craps and giggles, go carnivore for 4 to 6 weeks. It's not going to impact anything in your life other than you may see a difference in skin issues, GI issues, all for the better. I know we're running out of time, but we should talk about this next week. There's going to be a big dichotomy on diet I want to talk about next week with you. Who's going to win this whole cholesterol issue, eating the pyramid versus carnivore, keto, paleo? I think you're going to see in 5 to 10 years, it's going to be the carnivore, paleo, keto people probably will win this battle because everyone's tabooing cholesterol, how bad it is for you. I think it's the inflammation, the arthritis, what Mr. Hills is talking about. That's going to be the key. But go keto for 4 to 6 weeks, see if that improves your arthritis.
Ooh, very interesting. All right, partner. Great stuff. As always, appreciate you. We'll catch up with you next week. BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo, thank you.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Go have some chicken broth, Nick Geddes. Feel better, my friend. Thanks for posting today. Appreciate you jumping in. That's a key thing in life is when you're young. You know, you're going to be hungover. You got to fight through it. You got to fight through it. And you did today. Proud of you. Proud of you.
I'm proud of myself too.
I thought your performance was good. I think you worked well.
I felt actually good. It's like when the red light came on and I put the headset on,
boom,
all of a sudden felt a little better. Not gonna lie, as it went on a little bit, I start to feel a little bit weak.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's a 2-hour extravaganza. In this case, we went over a little bit too. I gave you extra time too. So
that's right.
There you go. You got to
well
do what
done.
you do in life.
Well done. All right. Thank you guys for watching and listening. As always, please share the show. We'd love for you to share the show so other people can get it on your social media channels. I appreciate that. Say something nice about us. Say, you got to check out this show. We'd love that. Like and subscribe on YouTube. We need to grab some of the more subscribers there. And also at JP Peterson Show, my new Twitter. If you were following the old one, follow the new one at JP Peterson Show. We will see you tomorrow on a fantastic Football Friday. See you then.